The Act of Uniformity and the Blessed Nation. What do these concepts have to do with each other? In the year 1559, Queen Elizabeth of England passed the Act of Uniformity. Key provisions of this act include reinstating the forced use of the English Common Book of Prayer, which had been revoked by Queen Mary, a Catholic. All services were to follow the order of service set out in this book and be in English. There were punishments and fines for clergymen who didn't follow the act and followed the directives in the Book of Common Prayer. The Catholic Mass was banned. Everyone was to attend church on Sundays and holy days or be fined. The act reinstated the use of traditional Catholic ceremonial clothing, objects used in worship, required organ music to be used, and yes, even dictated the fonts that could be used in religious writings. Queen Elizabeth made herself the supreme governor of the Church of England. What a strange world this was compared to the way we live in America today, with great defiance for the very idea of government having any involvement in religion, with great focus on independence of thought and practice. Actually, this intermingling of government and religion was not new. Jewish history outlines many kings who led their nation to worship God, and many who did not. This legal act in the 1500s, though, was a reaction to Martin Luther's Reformation of the Church. His 95 Theses sparked a religious revolution, causing division between the traditional Catholic Church and the emerging protesting Christians, which rocked the civilized world to the core. The kings and queens of England reacted to this upheaval by attempting to create a middle ground. Control was pulled away from the Pope and onto the government. Did Queen Elizabeth go too far, establishing herself as head of the church, fining people for not attending and punishing ministers who didn't follow everything in the Common Book of Prayer? What would Jesus think? What does Jesus think about a government which dictated the very garments that can be worn, which musical instrument that can be used to worship him, and even what font can be used on religious publications? The recent discovery of America had provided an irresistible opportunity for people to migrate to the New World, to escape religious control and persecution. The Puritans were such a people, and so were the Pilgrims. Along with many people seeking economic opportunity, many missionaries came from other countries as well, such as Spain and the Netherlands. From this clash of religious and political forces emerged the idea, which was embedded in our Bill of Rights around 200 years later, the concept of separation of church and state. Word for word, this portion of the First Amendment simply states that Congress can't pass a law to establish a religion and can't prohibit its free exercise. Simply put, Congress is not in charge of dictating nor denying our worship. Who then is in charge? Certainly, religions, religious sects and denominations have a hierarchy which defines some of the ways of worship for the people. These traditions were put forth by apostles such as Peter and Paul for the Christian church, with roots back to Jewish ways, and they were further developed by religious leadership. But is your church hierarchy solely responsible to make sure your worship is acceptable to God? King David, author of many of the Psalms, put it so simply, and we're all about simplicity in Seeking with Sherry. He said, "Blessed is a nation whose God is the Lord, and the people he chose for an inheritance." Now, a nation is not just a people with a shared geography and government. It can mean any group of people with shared values, history, language, culture, and/or ethnicity, enough shared attributes to provides cohesiveness. Did the First Amendment go too far, stating that our government wasn't to establish a religion or prohibit our worship? Did this encourage us to be a godless nation, each one seeking their own idea of God, a shapeshifter designed cleverly to make us feel good about ourselves with no commonality with the people around us? Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the one and only true God, our Creator. Blessings will come when a nation, that is, a group of people with shared values, history, language, ethnicity, culture, and/or faith, worship the Lord. We can compare ourselves to these straws, seeking upward in every direction. Not everybody facing the same direction, all facing and looking for the God that they believe is right. There is no commonality shown here. But as we seek to discover and worship the one true God, our Creator, the closer we get to Him, the closer we get to each other, and we will be truly blessed.
God bless America.